While everyone is focusing on the emails Hillary sent from her private account when she was Secretary of State, should we be focusing on this instead? We could be just days away from her announcing a 2016 White House run. And if you're wondering what kind of president Hillary would be, well, wonder no more.
We're fighting for an economy that works for everyone and includes everyone.
Doesn't sound like a commander-in-chief. Sounds more like a redistributor-in-chief. Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Bolling. Welcome to Cashing In. Our Cashing In crew this week, Wayne Rogers, Jonathan Honig, Lisa Booth, and Nomiki Kunst. Welcome, everybody. Well, surprise, surprise, the cat's out of the bag. Lisa, crack this code open for us. What does Hillary mean by an economy that works for everyone?
Well, look, it means that she's going to be Barack Obama 2.0. Make no mistake about it. Hillary Clinton's going to be another redistributor-in-chief. I mean, look at Hillary Care. Hillary Care paved the way for Obamacare, and Hillary has also made comments about taxing the rich and the rich paying their fair share. But in the end, everybody loses from that rob from Peter to pay Paul mentality. And if you look at this, the Obama administration, middle-class families are the ones that are suffering the most. They're making less than they did before President Obama took office. And while jobs have been added to the top and the bottom of the pay or the wage scale, middle-class families have seen their prospects diminish.
Right. So, Wayne, Lisa points out a very good point. Wages have been stagnant. They're actually stagnant for 6 years now, and the household incomes and medium wealth has actually dipped a little bit over President Obama's 6 years. Do we need 8 more years after President Obama of this redistribution, of this liberal economic tactics?
Well, I don't think so, Eric. She's opposed to the free market system. She's a central planning person. She's fundamentally a socialist. This is a woman who lives in a $2 million house and has the chutzpah to lecture us all about how the poor are getting poorer and the rich are getting richer.
What about that? Hillary Clinton, when she left the White House, she said, when she did her book tour, she said, well, when we left the White House, we were dead broke.
Yeah.
Her words, they made $100 million that year.
Well, you know what? They also are they're not the Bushes, and they're not even President Obama, who went to private school. The Clintons both came from working class, lower working class families. They worked their way up. They understand the system. They understand that having fair wages and improving conditions for the middle class improves all of America.
Wait,
it is the economy.
You're not suggesting they came from the wrong side of the tracks.
They did come from the wrong side of the tracks.
All righty, Jonathan.
Arkansas.
Go ahead.
I want to ask you, Nomi, if you knocked on your neighbor's door and demanded $1,000, you'd probably think that was wrong, right? Well, why is it any different when government does that? And that's exactly what all this redistribution is.
That's
Hillary wants an economy.
all what it is.
Well,
We're
Hillary
talking about
wants an economy that works. Let me just finish.
For workers.
Well, fair is free. A free economy is a fair economy.
You're offending Americans.
Go ahead, John.
Well, that's what works. I mean, the economic philosophy of the left, as Eric talked about, is redistribution. And redistribution is force. It's antithetical to wealth. It's antithetical to success. And that's the left's perspective. That, right? Free markets are destructive. We need government, right? No need to
You don't understand
pass
how
out the goods.
Let me get Lisa in here. Lisa,
pass out the goods in the more appropriate way.
Let's talk about this. I give the numbers that came out this week. The labor participation rate at its lowest point in 37 years under President Obama, and it's gotten worse under President Obama. Things aren't really that good for the middle class in America.
They're not good for the middle class. And look, to Nomiki's point, the problem is this redistribution of wealth and this rob from Peter to pay Paul mentality is not helping the middle class families. And the proof is in the pudding. Look at the numbers. I mean, look, higher income individuals, the affluent 1/5 of the country of taxpayers are already contributed, I believe, about 70% to the federal revenue in 2011. So they're already paying their fair share. And it's not helping middle-class families because those sort of policies hurt everyone. And look, we can't tax the rich enough to pay for these progressive policies that people like Nomiki and Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama want to go with.
We don't have a safety net in place. We don't have our education policies. The only people who can afford to go to colleges right now are the wealthy people. What better way to improve fair living conditions?
I have a better way. I have a better way. The free market. Wayne, go ahead. The free market seems to work pretty darn good when it's allowed to work. The problem with liberalism, Obamaism, Obamonomics, Hillaryonomics is it takes you away from the free market and it goes to government will take care of all your needs. Problem is someone's got to pay for it.
Well, you've heard me say this before on this program, Eric. By the way, happy birthday. I don't want her to take away your birthday present. So anyway, you know, these people haven't read Schumpeter. They haven't read any of the economists who know more than they do. They rely on their own ideology to come up with solutions that they think work. They don't work. They've proven not to work. It's only taken this president 6 years to get to this point, and he didn't do it. It was done in spite of him, and all you have to do, as you said, is look at the numbers. Look at the numbers in comparison. Go back to the Great Depression in 1933. It took them 7 years. That's all to get to that, and this is even worse.
Go ahead, John.
Wayne, I think you're the only one who actually remembers that. But that aside, I mean, Eric, you talk about the free market.
That's true.
That's just what the free market means is
what the free market
means. Can I just get a word in edgewise here?
Go ahead, John.
What the free market means is free people. So when Nomi and other people come out and say, well, the free market is destructive, they're basically saying that free people are destructive. That government's role is to redistribute, to help those in need, to provide for those who need, as opposed to letting free people be free to live and create on their own merits. That's the controlled economy that has never worked.
One of the problems with this whole Obamanomics is this take from the 1% or the 5% and give to the bottom 50% is that it never comes back. If the economy is getting better, job numbers seem to be improving, even if the economy starts to improve, nothing gets taken back. The people on welfare, the people on food stamps, the amount of money we're spending on all these programs continues to grow, even though things are getting better, and that's a problem.
Well, income disparity is a major problem, and you're right in some ways, but we also have a consumer economy. So when people are paid fair wages, that goes back into our economy. When we invest in human capital, when we invest in education.
What is fair mean?
If you look at
all right, go ahead, Lisa.
No, if you look at policies like raising the minimum wage, it's a farce because the reality is, according to Pew Research, the majority of the individuals that are going to see a minimum wage increase are between the ages of 16 to 23. And a majority of those individuals are living in households that make above the national income. So it's a farce. And 2/3 of those individuals will see some sort of pay increase or some sort of bonus within a year. Those are the facts, Nomiki.
And everything that is suggested by the left involves force. What is fair about using force against one group to the so-called benefit of others? Again, go back to that analogy of if your neighbor knocked on your door, demanded $1,000, you'd say it's crazy. Why is it okay when government does it? It's not.
Hold that thought, Nomiki. I know you want to respond, but hang on for the next block. We have a lot more show coming up.